What is up, you guys? Today I want to build a table for my family, and for that I need a bicycle. Maybe a working one, which actually isn't that one, but I was just too lazy to get the real one. A hardware store nearby and some wood. After trying around with the wood, I realized it was impossible to build a table with that. And while walking my favorite pet, I remembered why I talked about the bike in the hardware store. I also decided to take my pet with me so that it could carry all the heavy things for me. So here we go. And it actually worked pretty well, and the pet even kept up with the speed. But once I bought the tabletop, I realized that my pet was way too small for that piece of wood. I then let my pet carry it anyway, which didn't really work, so I had to walk beside the bike. And honestly, I don't know why I thought transporting a big wooden panel like that with just a bicycle trailer wouldn't be a problem, but here we are. I then gave my pet something to drink and relieved it from its weight. I then showed my future table around in my garden and freed it from its cage. But unfortunately it didn't seem to like my garden, which is why I decided to cut it in half. After that, I measured out the size for some cubes I wanted to make to extend the legs of the table, which I then cut out. And I just repeated this process for a couple of times until I had 8 of these pieces. I then glued 2 pieces together, which actually was fun because I really like glue. And the gluing itself worked out pretty well, I think.
Shit.
But these cubes actually were really fun to play with. The only sad thing was that I always had to guess which number I just diced, but I just assumed that it was a good game. After finishing all 4 cubes, I didn't have any motivation to go on and decided to pet my cat and call it a day. Alright. I then tried to glue the cubes onto the legs to extend them like models do, I heard. And to do so, I stole a glue from my father, which worked way better. After doing so on 2 of the 4 legs, I then just drew random lines all over the tabletop, which I made sure to measure out very precisely. Alright, I actually did that because I wanted to put an extra edge into the table like this. but you'll see that in a second. I originally planned to create the edge with my belt sander, but I would have become a really old wrinkly man until I would have finished it. Und es wäre viel praktischer, das einfach mit der Kreissäge zu machen. Allerdings müsste man es dann aufrecht hinstellen. So we then cut it with this circular saw, which probably would have been the most epic scene in this whole video, because it started snowing, and we had to hold that heavy tabletop up straight so that it didn't jam. But I didn't film it, so I'm showing you this nice clip of someone with a jigsaw instead. I then sanded the edges, which really paid off, as you can see in this before and after. Alrighty. So I then needed to sand the whole thing, of which I'll give you a quick overview. As you might remember, I also bought this delicious looking vanilla cream. But it didn't taste very well, which is why I decided to use it to varnish my table, which actually worked surprisingly well. I then had to remove the 2 cubes, which I'd already glued onto the legs, because my mom said that she didn't want the table that high up. So I spent about 2 hours of building these cubes for nothing. I then connected these 4 things to the bottom side of the table to have a connection between the top and the legs. And in case you're wondering why I was working inside, that was because it was raining white bullets, which actually had messages on them. I even catched one to see what this guy sent us, but I couldn't figure out what it means. I then varnished the upper side of the table. Then petted it for a bit, and then gave it legs to walk. And it did work, and actually escaped from my workplace, and after searching for a bit, I found it taking a relaxing sunbath. I then again gave it a quick sand to polish everything up, and then actually caught it on camera walking inside with the legs I gave it. So yeah, this is the final product, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you had some fun watching this video. Do something that makes you happy, and goodbye.